We're going to talk about caravans. More than 1,000 owners of caravans across the UK who say they feel ripped off are about to start legal action against the holiday parks that sold them the caravan. Members of the Holiday Park Action Group say they faced unfair increases in pitch fees and a sharp depreciation in the value of their static caravans after purchase. A BBC investigation found people had lost their life savings, inheritance and pensions. We can talk now to the group's founder, Carole Keeble. Carole, hello.
Hi.
OK, I mean, this sounds pretty bleak. Tell us why your group is taking this legal action.
The Holiday Park Action Group, with a membership currently approaching 70,000 people, has for the past 7 years been calling on the government, the Competition and Markets Authority and trading standards to enforce consumer rights against some of the most ruthless park operators in the UK. Those regulators have a legal duty under consumer protection regulations to ensure our citizens are protected from the industrial scale of unfair commercial practices that are carried out as the norm across this sector.
OK, so can you give us an example then of what you're talking about? So somebody buys a caravan, what aren't they being told?
They're not being told about a caravan for 50k. They're not being told that actually the caravan is only worth about 20, 15 right. Sometimes. So when you pay 50k for something, that is what you think it is worth. You're not given any indication whatsoever that it's not going to be worth that in 6 months' time.
So people are coming a cropper where they may invest, but then think maybe in short order, it's not really what we thought it would be. And then they're finding they're quite a lot of money out of pocket. Yeah,
yes, they are quite a lot of money out of pocket. Plus the fact they are then saying when they have to sell it back for a pittance, that same caravan goes up for the same price they actually paid for it, if not even more, to sell to somebody else. So a caravan that is suddenly not worth that money is now, again, worth that money.
I mean, where's the responsibility on the people doing the buying? I guess that is the argument that will come back at you, is to say, well, if you're going to invest any kind of large sum of money in anything, look at what the resale value is. Is that not a legitimate pushback?
No, that's not, because the resale value is not given to you. If you look around at other parks for your product, you will find that same cost. So if you look around on another park for the one you actually have and see that price similar to what you've already paid, why would you think yours is not that value anymore when it's still a year later being sold for that price?
We've got a statement here from the Department of Business and Trade, and it says this: holiday caravans are an important part of our tourism industry. We're aware of the difficulties that some holiday homeowners have experienced, and the law is clear that it can be a criminal offence for businesses to mislead customers. We're committed to protecting consumers from rogue practices. That's why we've recently brought forward additional measures to introduce tough financial penalties for breaches of consumer law and give the Competition and Markets Authority new powers to decide if consumer laws have been breached. What changes do you want to see then, Carole?
I mean, they all come out with that one, but what they don't tell you is the only way you can address that is the legal process, and people cannot afford that legal process. There is nowhere for people to fight this.
So talk us through what's happening in the High Court there. There's two claims, aren't there?
There are two claims. The first claim, we believe that pitch fee increasing is not viable. It's an unfair clause in the actual contract because, one, it doesn't tell you exactly what the pitch fee increase is for. It's like walking into a department store, buying 6 or 7 items of clothing, not actually knowing what you're paying for. When you get to the till, they say it's 60 quid. You pay that £60, you don't get a receipt, you don't know what each item has cost, and off you go.
Right, and this is that they reserve the right then, the park owners, to put your pitch fees up?
Yes.
OK, and you have no control over that?
Year.
OK, so it's a kind of like leaseholds in that sense, isn't it?
But it's not a leasehold. Yeah. It's a consumer contract.
Sure, but there was a big push to get that changed, and that has been changed. And what's the second claim?
The second claim is for the depreciation of the caravans, which we've just talked about, where you pay 60k for a caravan only to find that a year later it's only worth 10, 15 at tops.
Okay.
You are not told that.
Well, listen, when are we going to see these cases come to the High Court? Because we'll keep a keen eye on it, Carole.
Yes, at the minute we're still gathering numbers, and numbers are coming in like nobody's business now, especially with all the coverage. I mean, we hope that one day the caravan ownership is not going to be fraught with significant risks and worry, that are commonplace across the majority, if not all, holiday parks. Mm. All we actually want is a fair, open and honest holiday park business sector, which would be good for business, good for the consumers, good for the UK economy and good for the environment, reducing the need to travel abroad.
Carole, that's brilliant.
Brilliantly need put. To step up.
Thank you so much for joining us. Carole Keeble there. She is the founder of the Holiday Park Action Group. As ever, if you've had experience of this, do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. 85058. Let's get the news headlines.